Well, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Dr. Brandy B, your favorite child and adolescent psychiatrist, coming in to you for our back to school edition. Back to school edition. Are you all excited about school starting again? I certainly am. Come on in, grab a friend and come on in. It's Focus on It Friday, and I'm so excited that you all are here. Hopefully you all are still there hanging out with me. Come on in, grab some people, let them know that we are here. Let's see how we can do this. Go ahead and we're going to get ready to have some of our friends come in with us. I am so excited about today's show. This is going to be a good one. So come on in. Let me know. Hello there, Miss Andrea. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. Go ahead and share the video. I wish I knew how to do it so that we can let some folks know that we are here for Focus on It Friday. It is a little bit cloudy here in Birmingham. We're about where you all are. We are, it's still hot though in Birmingham. That is no secret. Still very, very hot. But yeah, we are here nonetheless. Hello. Come on in. We're going to talk about preparing for back to school. It is a wonderful time. It's the time when these kids get to go back and stop eating all our snacks all day and get back to school. So we want to make sure that we give this some time in order to get prepared for our little ones going back to school. I'm watching because my little one opened the garage door and came outside. I have no idea why, but she did. Y'all know Baby Faith. Baby Faith is something else. But come on in. I am waiting to you to bring a friend and come on in. Let me know that you're here. Just say hello when you get here. And I will say hello back. But we're so excited to have you. We are so excited to have you at Focus on It Friday with Dr. Brandy B. Yes, come on in and let me know that you're here for Focus on It Friday Back to School edition. We've got some good tips. 5 tips for you to have a great school year with your little one. And we are going to share them with you today. Hello, Cousin Latina. Thank you for joining. If you don't mind, go ahead and share the video. Welcome other people to Focus on It Friday. We've got Miss Paula Moore. Hello, welcome. Go ahead and share the video so that people know that we're here for Focus on It Friday. We want everyone to get these good tips. This is good for everyone. We're going to be talking about tips for going back to school. And hello, hey, says Miss Paula. Hello, cousin, says Latina Woods. We are so excited that you are here with us. All righty, we're going to give everybody about 1 more minute, and then we will go ahead and get started with Focus on It Friday. All right, Faith is now back inside, so we don't have to worry about her running away. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm Dr. Brandy B, your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. I'm your Facebook host of Focus on It Friday, the best-selling author of the book Shine, Understanding ADHD, so your child can be a star. I am your speaker, your mommy friend, your teacher and parent liaison, and I am all things ADHD. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. Today, we're going to go over the 5 things that you need to know about going back to school, preparing to go back to school. And we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing is that we need to get our minds right. Some of us have been scarred by school, parents and children alike. Some of us have not had good experiences with school. And so the first thing that we need to do is to get our minds right. We need to go ahead and start those affirmations, those I am statements. I will have a great year. I am going to make the honor roll. I will do the best that I can do. I am going to be the best student possible. I will be kind to people. I will not bully people. I will not allow myself to be bullied. All of these are things that we will have to do in order to have a great school year. And I think parents, I asked in my mommy group, I polled some of the mommies and said, if you could be a better parent, what would you do? And they all said very similarly. This was interesting to me. Several of them said the same things. Scream less, have more patience, make more time. Although, that's a very tricky thing because we're trying to work, we're trying to be involved, we're trying to parent. And so time is just one of you're trying to be a wife, and a friend to your partner. So it gets kind of hectic and busy. But the screaming and the spending more time and being more affectionate, all of those are things that, I do need to have a mommy group. Mommy group, says Miss Paula Moore. Yes, I do not have one. I am a member of one. Let me hold that back. But you bring up an interesting point. I think we should do that. Oh my goodness. Let me think on it before I commit to to having the 50-11 plus one thing going on in my life. But that is a good idea. We do need that. That will be excellent support. So, but yes, one of the first things, okay. Yes, it's not mine. It's not mine. You would have known about it. You would have been there. But the first thing we need to do is get our minds right. And so part of that is, even as Mom said, is an affirmation. I will holler less. Right? Not I will stop hollering. That's the goal, but it all starts with I will holler less. And so with anything, and this is just in general, before you can really change a behavior, you need to take an inventory on that behavior. So before we can know if we've made any improvements, for example, in hollering, the first thing we would need to do is to figure out how many times do I do it in a day. So just take inventory. Just count the number of times that you catch yourself hollering. You're not trying to change anything initially. You're just trying to see where you stand. And so if you find that you hollered at your kids 233 times and the next day you only hollered 200 times, my God, that's a huge improvement. You have gone down a significant percentage of hollers. And I say that that's worthy of celebrating, right? And so what we need to do is say, I will holler less. I will scream less. I will become less agitated by my children's frustration with doing homework. These affirmations are so powerful because they can help you stay grounded when it seems like you're about to lose it, right? And so that's what we want to prevent. We want to prevent you from losing it, because the truth of the matter is that your children sometimes have very limited ability to self-regulate. But we as adults hope that we have more. Oftentimes, I know that some of us don't. But if we can start those affirmations in this school year, getting our minds right by affirmations, those I will, those I am, those I can statements, that can be very, very, very helpful in getting us to the next level of parenting. Also, I love the idea of a mantra. A mantra is a statement of belief, something that we state as fact, right? And so I've shared with you all before that my mantra is, and God can do that too. I like 6 words because 6 words means that it makes you really focus in on where you need to be. And it doesn't have you all over the place writing paragraph mantras. And God can do that too. T-O-O, in addition to, above. And so whatever your mantra is, if you find that, oh Lord, this child is about to make me scream, okay, and God can do that too, meaning that you believe that God or whatever can not only help you not scream, but can help whatever that situation is that the child is doing, can work to help the child with that as well. So with getting our minds right, this is the first step of anything, whether we're about to work on finances, whether we're about to work on our marriage, whether we are about to work on our kids' mental health or our mental health, or we're about to start a new business, about to try to buy a new home. Whatever it is that we are about to do, the first step is to get our minds right. Without the right mindset, the best ideas will go unfinished. You won't even get them started, right? Because you just have your mind all over the place. You got to clean up shop. You got to clean up house. You got to get ready to go into the new year, the new situation, head first with a very clear and open head about what the plan is. So first thing we got to do as far as getting ready for the new year is to get our mind right. And as I said, we're going to use those affirmations and those mantras. We've had some people to come in. Let's speak to them. Miss Cuddy Shepherd Harris, hello. And Miss Dina, hello, Miss Dina. We've got Bridget Woodford watching, David Williams, and Finesse Crenshaw, I think is how you pronounce it. Welcome to each of you. Go ahead and share the video. Invite some people over. Good information if you've got people that are going back to school. And that's school at any level. It doesn't mean pre-K, daycare, college, doctorate, all of it. Everybody needs to get their mind right. And help your kids get their minds right too. Very, very funny. Snoop Dogg, believe it or not, Snoop Dogg has a kids album, 2 of them actually, and one of them has a song Affirmations on there. It is a real bop. It's the coolest thing you will listen to ever. It's catchy, and you'll be following along. It's a sing and repeat. He says it, my feelings matter. And then the kids say, my feelings matter. I get stronger every single day. I get stronger every single day. Super, super cute. My kids love it. I'm sure your kids will too. You will probably even, yes, I am safe. I'm okay. I'm loved. It works for me, says Miss Paula. Absolutely. And you know, you have to repeat these things, say them until they become reality, right? Now, of course, you can't just say them and do nothing. But the first thing with anything is to say it. And I go one step further. I like to write my goals, write my dreams. And, you know, sometimes I'll stumble across pieces of paper that I've written years ago, and I'll come back and I'll say, wow, this thing, you know, came to life, or it changed, or whatever else. But that is super important. Leah says, I'm so sorry that I missed you last week. I hope you can forgive me. I certainly can. I missed you too. I was like, where is Dr. Leah? Where is my co-host? Where is she? But I'm glad that you're back today. Hope y'all are all having a great day. So first thing we got to do is get our mind right. The second thing we've got to do is set the climate and the culture for love and learning. And that's at your house. You can't control the culture and the climate at the school, but you can control it at your house. Yes, Monday made up for it, Dr. Leah. So, are you showing love? Are the words that you say to your kids, are they welcoming? Do those words encourage them and support them, or do those words tear them down? Do you find that, you know, you use positive words, those affirmation type words when you're talking to your kids, or are you cursing them? I just can't believe that cursing a kid in any way that you cut it is going to be the best way to handle that. You know, so there's got to be some other words that you can use. And yes, we get frustrated, but guess what? Simply telling our kids, especially these school-age kids, hey, not right now. I need about 5 more minutes. That can be a very, very, very great thing to do for them. But we've got to set the culture. We've got to set a climate that's warm and fuzzy. And it begins with a smile. Just a smile can be all that your kid needs to get them started on their day. You know, having to go to school and be frustrated because you've gotten cursed out. That's not what we want our kids to do in this school year. We may have had that happen last year, but we want to set a new atmosphere, all right? And then we want to make sure that we have everything that they need as much as we can to get things done. We want to cut out the distractions. We want to cut off the TV. We want to give them a safe and a, you know, temperature appropriate, quiet place where they can do their work. It's hard to do your homework when you're in a chaotic environment, right? And so somebody said that's the best that we got, so we got to make the best out of it. Maybe there's a library that you can go to because you're having to live with your parents, either because they're ill or financial hardships have forced you to be there, or whatever the case may be. But let's try to get that homework done in the library or at a friend's house. But figure out what is it that we need to do to make it so the ambiance is one that our kids can really do well in, because that does matter. So the first thing we need to do is get our minds right. The second thing we need to do is set the ambiance. Set the ambiance. Big word. Ambiance. All right. The next thing that we need to do is look at our kids' history to help us determine what we need to do to make the future better. We need to look at their history to determine what we need to do to make their future better. Last time, we need to look at their history to figure out what we need to do to make their future better. But with that being said, what we don't need to do is focus on their history and bring it up to them all the time. The history is just that, the history. It's done. It's in the past. We can't do anything else about it. Every day should be a new day, as should every school year. So we want to make sure that we're reminding our students that, hey, you're repeating this grade, but it's going to be the best grade yet. Or, hey, you didn't do so hot last year, but it's a new day, a new grade, a new school, a new teacher, a new principal, a new whatever. It's a new you. Because the truth of the matter is that I am not the same me I was even 10 minutes ago. That person is completely gone. She's done with. We are looking forward to the future, which is a better me, a brighter me. I'm making new decisions. I'm learning from the old ones, but I'm not dwelling on the old ones. And so we need to make sure that when we're talking to our kids, we don't continue to pester them about, well, the last time you did this. Let's just talk about what we can do this time. A gentle reminder every once in a while. Sure, maybe we need one now. Did it work out when you didn't study before that last math test? Oh, it didn't? Okay, well, maybe we ought to try something different instead of, the last time you didn't study. Look at what it got you. Look at what it got you doing math again. They don't need to hear that. They know they're doing math again. They are the ones who are doing it. So we want to look at the history to help us know when it can be our guide. But we want to use that as a gauge for the future only. And right here, I just want to say this. Make sure that we're looking at our kids from what they can do and what they don't do or can't do. Instead of saying, you are no good at math. You just are no good. You just don't get it. I don't understand why you just can't get math. You know why they can't get math. You can't get it. So why you leave that kid alone about math? If they're an excellent reader, let's hone in on that. Oh my God, you are so amazing at reading. I just love your passion for reading. Your drive to want to read all you can. That really is admirable because mommy doesn't like to read and doesn't have time to read just for fun, just on a casual basis. So now this kid gets to feel like, oh my God, I can do something well. Mommy is pleased that I read well and I like to do it for fun. Forget that all I can make is a C- in math. That is my best. And that is what we need to go into this school year trying to figure out. Did my kid do their best? Because who in the world can expect anything from you than your best? Anything more than your best. There's good, there's better, and there's best. There is no such thing as a bestest, a besteress. It just doesn't exist. And so even with my patients, when they say, well, I got an A, a B, and 1 C, I said, did you do your best? And if they say I did, then guess what? I'm ecstatic. My best in geometry in high school was a C. And I took that C and I skipped out of there just as excited as I could be. Because I didn't know what in the heck I was doing. So to come out there with a C+, I thought I had hung the moon in the sky. Right? So we want to look at our kids not just based off what they did in the history. We want to let that go. Use it to build upon, to really say, you know what, historically, my child just does not do well in math. And that's okay. All right? And then we want to do whatever we need to do. And we'll talk about some of those things. But getting tutors and C's get degrees, says Miss Leah. Hello. Unless you're in nursing school, I think a C gets you. I think you have to go down from an RN to an LPN. But check me on that, y'all. But the point is that C equals MD, C equals degrees, C equals you complete the class and you graduate. And that's what we are looking for. We are looking for kids to be able to graduate and get on to the next phase of life, whatever that may be. So in getting ready for the new school year, we want to get our minds right. That's the first thing. We've got to get our minds right. The second thing we want to do is make sure that the ambiance is set. And then the third thing that we want to do is review the history, but move forward looking forward to the future, right? Don't continue to nag on and talk about what they did or didn't do. And also make sure you're talking about your kids from their strengths and not from their weaknesses. I'm so glad you're good at reading. Or if they're not good at school at all, they do something well. And again, going back to what I said, you need to take inventory to figure out what it is that your child does well so you can really pump them up about that. If all they can do is clean up their room really well, oh my God, then that is an amazing thing, because you know what? There are people who pay people to clean their office, clean their house, clean their cars, clean whatever. So if they are good at cleaning, hello, we don't need them to do math now. They do need to have a way to keep up with their cash flow, okay? But There are people for that. If they're making enough money, they can pay somebody to do the math for them. They can pay somebody to do the advanced level reading for them. They're called attorneys. And if they misread something, guess what? We'll sue them too. So what I'm saying is, let's stop focusing on what our kids can't do and make sure we really hone in, drill in, praise them for the things that they can. Because everybody on the planet is good at doing something, even if that something is only a smile. And if you haven't figured out what it is that your kid does well, I'm sorry, you don't know them well enough. Spend more time with them, do more inventory, figure it out. We've got Miss Eliza Allen. Welcome, and she's laughing at me. Who knows what I said? And we've got, let's see who else. I thought, oh, Auntie Luella Marbury came in. Thank you for joining. All right, so let's go on. So our that was our third thing, looking at the history. I think I saw, oh, my classmate, Nikita. And we've got Thomas Rivera. Welcome to both of you. All right, the next thing that we want to do is to make sure that our kids have all the tools we need. And I just hinted at that. Make sure that they have all the tools that they need. Now, some of your kids, when you look back at the history, you're going to say, okay, my kid didn't do well in math. Now, it is on you to not just keep telling them that you don't do good in math. We know I don't do well in math. We know they don't do well in math, and so we've got to figure out what do we need to do to help them. Get them a tutor, get them a 504, get them an IEP. Just talk to the teacher first. Again, do inventory. Teacher, do you know why my child doesn't do well in math? And they're going to say, yes, ma'am, I know. This is why. Teacher, do you know what I can do to help them at home? Yes, ma'am, this is what you can do. And then you got to do it. Then you got to do it. You got to set aside some time. You got to stop hollering at them. You got to figure out what is it that we can do to help our kids get through to the next level, because they still have to pass math. They don't have to be rocket scientists. They don't have to be mathematicians, but they got to pass math. Passing, I think, is a D, all right? And so we just got to get in our minds that maybe this kid's going to get a D, but they're going to pass. And it sounds like that's a wild goal. Like, who would ever create getting a D, because what you want is for them to pass. And again, y'all know I always preach this. Parent the child you got and not the one you prayed, dreamed, or asked for, or even the one you hoped for. And if the child that you prayed for was going to be a rocket scientist, but what you got was a child that makes a D in math. If you feel like they've done their best, there's nothing better than their best. And if you feel like you've done your best in helping them to do their best, then everybody's done their best. There's nothing else to hope for. So get them the help that they need. Please be honest this year. I'm going to try not to wear y'all out with this. But if your child has ADHD, if your child has depression, if your child is being bullied, if your child is anxious, if your child is having some interpersonal problems, if your child and you don't get along, if your child and your spouse don't get along, if your child and kids in the neighborhood don't get along, we need to be honest about all these things and then go to the next step. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she told me about all these things that are going on, all these things that are going on, all these things that are going on in her marriage, with her kid, whatever else. She told me I'm doing the therapy, and I said, well, what's the next step? We can't just say I'm doing the therapy and it's not working. Okay, you need to figure out the next step. Do you need another therapist? Do you need another doctor? Do you need another medicine? Do you need to start medicine? Do you need to, again, quit a job, be at home, get a divorce, get a new job? These are all things that you control. You are in control as the parent, right? To figure out, first, it all starts with information. Why is my kid not learning math? Why is my kid behaving? Why is my kid being bullied? Because what you may find out is that your kid is the bully. And then your kid is being bullied back because somebody stood up for themselves, because your kid's been bullying them for the last 3 years. And so they punched them in the eye, and now you're mad. But your kid has been doing little stuff to them all day, and that was their breaking, all year, last school year, the year before, and now that was their breaking point. But you want to sue. And you may have a suit. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but I just want you to know that you need to do history. So before you go up to that school, carry it on. Go up there with history. Go up there with information, because guess what? The teachers have their information. And so when you go up there pointing your finger and rolling your neck, they're going to pull out a stack this big. And then you're going to be in a situation. You're going to be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Go to these people's schoolhouse with some respect, with some decency, and knowing how to talk to people. Now, if they switch it up on you, well, then you got to handle your business. But initially, go to get information. You're just simply gathering information. I love that about someone I used to work with. She would always say, well, I just need to gather some information. And that's what we should all do. Before we act rashly, we need to gather more information. And guess what? If our kids see us gathering information before we react, then that is what they will do. We talk about conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is about calming down, gathering information, and then talking through it. This is not something that we have shown them as adults, so it's not something that they know how to do as children. It's not a skill that you're just born with. It's a skill that needs to be modeled and honed in on and practiced. And who do we see anything, any behavior, any skill coming from? First, it's the people that we live with, and love. And so we have to do that. All right. So, in welcoming back to school kit, we got to get our minds right. We've got to set an ambiance. We've got to review the history, but move beyond it. We've got to use our tools that our kids need to help, which are basically going to be a part of the information gathering that we got from our history. And the last thing we need to do is to take care of ourselves. Now, nobody ever talks to parents in back to school preparation, but parents, you hold the ability to make or break your children's academic success. I want to say that again. You parents hold the ability to make or break your child's academic success. The teachers are going to call. If they're calling with positive information, welcome them. Gather as much information as you can. Don't settle for he's doing good. Question. When the teacher says he's doing really well, ask, what does that mean? Have a list of questions. Is he talkative? Does he follow instructions? Is he making friends? Does he seem nervous? Don't stop at he's doing well. He's doing good. All right? Ask more questions, because you may know from coming to hear me that when the teacher says something, it may be an alarm for you. And all you need to do is gather more information. So listen to your teachers. I think we talked about that last week or maybe the week before, but listen to your teachers. All right. Then take care of yourself. Many of you watching are dealing with depression. Many of you are dealing with anxiety. Many of you are dealing with ADHD yourselves. Many of you are dealing with failing marriages, embarrassment. Somebody may even be dealing with physical abuse, domestic violence. And before you can really tackle your child's issues, well-being, or anything else, you may need to actually take care of yourself. You may need to actually get a therapist. You may need to actually get on some medicine. You may feel bad about your child's education because you never finished high school. So maybe you need to join them and get your GED. There's so many things that we have to do for ourselves in order to be better parents. Self-care, we talk about that, not enough. But we have to make sure that we set boundaries for ourselves, for our kids, for our families. Take that time every day to do what it is that you need to do for you. Because honestly, nobody knows what you need like you do, and nobody can do for you what you need to do like you can do it. So take care of yourself, do the self-care, love on yourself, express some gratitude. You would be extremely surprised what it would do for you to try to list out all the things that are going good in your life, starting with, I'm alive. And if I am alive is a stressful thing to you and you don't feel that as a benefit, then you need to probably go to the emergency room, because life, literally, you are considering that it has ended. And whether or not, you take those next steps to do that are what we want to make sure that you don't do. But be grateful. List out the things for which you're grateful. I guarantee that will not be a long list, so you'll be doing it for a very long time. Make sure you love on your family. Make sure that you try to be stress-free as much as possible, right? Make sure that you take care of yourself physically as far as your exercise and your diet. And then make sure that, again, you reevaluate. It always comes back to evaluate. Let's think about this. Let's evaluate this. If the things that you're doing for yourself and your self-care are not working, then that means that we probably need to figure out what is it that we can do to take care of ourselves. I don't care who the leader is, the captain, the engineer, the conductor, the pilot. Nobody gets safely to where they're going if the person driving the vessel is not well, him or herself. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself in order to make sure that these other tips that I've given you fall in line. All right, so in summary, we're going back to school. It is happening. For some babies, it has already happened. For the rest of us whose babies will go off this year, make sure we get our minds right. Listen for those affirmations, or make those affirmations, create those mantras. Check out Snoop Dogg affirmations, cutest thing ever. Make sure that we're setting the ambiance. Create a home full of love. And love does not equal money, right? But create a home full of love. Love is discipline. Love is consistency. Love is being available, not just physically. So there's a lot to do with love, right? And make sure that we set up the environment that allows them to study, to be kids, to get the things done they need to. Make sure that we look at the kids' history only as a way to give us a bridge for what to do in the future. Make sure that we use all the tools we need. Therapy for you and them. Staying healthy, so getting them vaccinated, getting them in with their physical doctor, in with their eye doctor, all of those things. IEPs, if the teachers say your child is a little bit slow, listen, these people don't want your children in special education services just for kicks and giggles. It's more work for them, all right? It's more work for them. They don't want your kid in special education services. But as educators, right, they have recognized that your child may have some challenges in some areas, and they have ways to get them help. And by denying them help, you're denying them success potentially, at least with ease. And I don't care what anybody says. I want my children to work hard for things, yes, but I don't want them to struggle. So if there's a tool out there that will allow them to get things quicker and easier, still legally and ethically and all of that, you gotta bitch you by golly, wow, I'm gonna go for it. And then the last thing we want to do is make sure we take care of ourselves. Get our depression, our anxiety. I had a lady tell me yesterday, I know I'm depressed. I know I'm anxious. Well, baby, what are you doing about it? It's not just enough. The first step is definitely to acknowledge it. But then we've got to move beyond that because it's affecting you. It's affecting you. So take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm going to try to come back next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with my back to school tips. We're going to talk about getting ready in the morning, getting our homework done, and I think I have another one. We'll do those. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I will let you know. But I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Lastly, just because I have to, ADHD is real. It is a neurologic disorder, neurobehavioral disorder. Several people have it. Adults can have it. And I can tell you, there are adults walking around who are so relieved when they finally get the help that they need. It is life-changing, and they question themselves and regret the fact that they have not had that treatment all their lives. So go ahead and get yourself treated. Go ahead and get your kids treated. I can be a great source of information. Of course, my time is limited, but we'll definitely take care of that. Now, let me go back up here. I saw something from Leah. Oh, the picture. Yes, yes, yes. And make sure to get those school med forms completed and signed by your provider if your child takes their medications at school. Absolutely. If your child takes a medication at school, that's any kind of medication, inhaler, something for asthma, something for headache, insulin, anything like that, it's got to have a school medication form. And it has to be signed every year, every current school year. So even if they started a medication May 15th of last year, and the doctor or the nurse practitioner or whomever sent in a school med form on May 15th of last year, when school ended, it ended. So they will need a new one. That will hold up things moving along, and you don't want that. You want them to be ready day one, as they say in Birmingham City Schools, ready day one, not only academically, but medically as well. And so if they need medications during the school hours, they're going to have that school form. School med form. And then one other thing, if you're going to need medications to take to school, make sure that there's one that can stay there. Or if it's pills that you're leaving some at home, make sure that you have a bottle that you can leave at the school. The school has to always have the most current date on a bottle. So these are just some tidbits and some things I've learned along the way. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. Miss Paula Moore says, I was that adult, diagnosed at 48 after my oldest son was diagnosed. I can't tell you all how many times I have parents that will say to me at the end of their children's initial diagnosis, could I have this? Because all of those questions were me. Absolutely, you can. And you know, if you've read my book, that there is a high percentage of parents that have it. One parent, it could be higher than the other most times. Get the book to find out how. But we're so happy to have you all. Don't forget the picture. I need to make it my latte. You are cracking me up. I'm going to send that picture, and I also have something else to send you all as well. But I hope that you all have had enjoyed today's session. Make sure you get those school supplies, and make sure, from a teacher's perspective, I'm not one, but I hang out with a couple. Make sure that you all get the type of crayons and stuff that these people ask for. They're asking you for that particular thing for a reason. If you send a pencil that's that round around, okay, and you're talking about a pre-K or kindergarten student, they don't know how to hold that. They don't have the fine motor skills to do that. Likewise, if they ask you for Crayola, don't get the Rose Art. Just don't do it, because those things are going to break. I understand. They're going to just break and crumble. And now you've got kids with broken crayons. Get the Crayolas. And so that your kids, can be prepared. All right. Is there anything else? Any other church announcements? If not, we are going to be dismissed. It's not for you per se, Leah. You done got excited. But I do love y'all so much. I hope that your kids have the best year yet. I pray that there is safety in our schools. I pray that there is great education in our schools. I pray that kids come to school with the right attitude. I pray that teachers come to school with the right attitude. I pray that the parents around you, you know, when I'm traveling, I don't just pray for my safety. I pray for the safety of everybody that I will encounter, because if they're safe, I'm safe. And so this is all a trickle-down effect. It's like a pile-up on the interstate. If one kid is doing well, all the kids in the school are doing well, and everybody wins. And that is really what we're looking for. Yeah, I love that my kids do well, but it is just not enough that my kids do well. I want your kids and your kids and your kids and your kids, everybody's kids, to do well, because guess what? If everybody's kids are doing well, then it's an even higher chance that my kids will continue to do well. There's a higher chance that I don't get robbed on the street. It's a higher chance that nobody's running into me because they weren't paying attention. It's a higher chance that nobody's getting on drugs. And can y'all imagine a world where nobody is getting on drugs? Oh my God, that is amazing in and of itself. If nobody got on drugs, I would just die a happy death whenever that happens in 200 years. I would just be the happiest woman alive if we could just have a world where people were not on drugs. And I want to just remind y'all real quick, young kids get on drugs. 8 to 11 years old. That's my average first age of use. 8 years old, y'all, is about third grade. Okay, that's my oldest right now. And at that age, kids are using marijuana and alcohol. So watch out for your kids. Please watch out for your kids. Please watch out for your kids. Ask them questions. Know their friends. Listen to the conversations when they aren't talking to you. Turn your device down and listen to what they're talking about. And ask them, what did it mean? Where did they hear it? These are the other things that are going to make for a great school year. Put things in your kids before their peers talk to them. If it's sex, if it's drugs, if it's peer pressure, whatever it is, talk to your kids. Nobody should be able to tell your kids anything that you can't tell them yourself. Talk to them about social media. Talk to them about sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever. Like I said, you should be their expert, not their friends. And so if their friends become their expert, you off to a bad and rocky start. I hate to tell you. It's a bad and rocky start that will lead them to bad and rocky places. And if you are not interested in your kid having a bad and rocky life, you need to be talking to them. You need to have them in somebody's church, synagogue, prayer house, storehouse, somewhere where they can get some stuff that's going to help them, because school is like a jungle. It's like a jungle. And if they are not prepared for war in the proper way, and I'm not even talking education, they are not going to make it out on the other side the way that you want them to. So please equip them with war materials, right? And it starts with the education, but it's so much more. Be involved at that school. If your teacher gives out his or her cell phone number, don't abuse it, but check in on your kids. They love it when you do that. Be at the school, right? And I understand that you can't be there sometimes because your work hours don't coincide. Get somebody. There's a grandmother in your area, in your neighborhood, across the way, next door to you, who would love to be at that school every day checking on your child. There's an educator at your church. There's somebody who is willing to help you. If your family is a hot mess and they aren't available, don't fool with asking them. They aren't going to do it. Your blood pressure will be up. Get the little old lady across the street who barely looks like she's making it. She's a former teacher. She knows how to help your child. She will be glad to watch your third grader at her house and give them a warm cooked meal so that they don't have to be in the house alone till 6 o'clock when you can get home. Reach out to your family. Reach out to your friends. It's time for us to go back to those days of old when that is how we made kids get through school and get through life. We took care of everybody's kids. We loved on everybody's kids. And young mama, I see you out there. I know you're doing the best that you can. Nobody's trying to be down on you. We really are trying to help you. Accept the help, accept the encouragement, accept the advice, and take it for what it is, and then move on. All right, I got to preach it. I'm going to get off of here. But I want y'all to know I love y'all. I really do. And if you can't tell that I care about your kids just like they're my own, I don't know what else to do. I can tell you to do. Just don't come back next week. Because that's who I am. I want everybody's child to succeed. My kids are going to be all right. I'm going to make sure of that. I'm just trying to help you to have your kids do the same. I believe that everybody's kids can make it. And they're going to make it in their own way. Everybody's kid isn't going to go to college. And if that is what their history tells them and tells you, please be honest about that. Stop trying to make that kid go to college and be a mathematician. And the best that they can do is count to 10. Help them count to 11 and 12 and figure out if they read real well, what can we do with that, right? Parent the child that you got, not the one you prayed for, not the one you asked for, not the one you begged for, not the one you cried for. Just love on the one you got. Because that's all you got. That's all you got. Make the best out of that one. Or those. Or however many. Give them the special attention that they need. Give them the special education that they need. Be there for them. Help them shine. All right, guys. I love y'all. I will see you all next week. We're going to talk about life after the first week of school. And if your kids are on the same system as mine, it's okay. Just catch up. Because if they started school yesterday or today, it's still just enough time. You're right on time to do these first day or getting prepared for the first day of school tips. All right. I love y'all. I will see you all next week. Hit me up. Share the video. Let your friends know Dr. Brandy B is the best. You want to check her out in her video. Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there shopping. Stay dry. Love y'all. Bye.